Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Okay, so what exactly are we doing?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, young man. You have entered the spooky realm, for it is Halloween, the night where many scream.
Yep.
And we have very spooky, scary things to discuss at length.
Yeah.
Viewers beware. I don't know why you're viewing, you are listening. Listeners beware, you are in for a scare.
Beware that you are not viewing, but in fact listening.
That is the first frightening aspect of tonight's, this morning's
Whenever
show.
you're listening to this.
On the bus, in your home. You
At
cannot
the
escape
office.
the fear, the torment.
Bitter chatter.
Yes. For you see, me and my spooky, scary partner.
That's me.
Yes. Could you try, please? Could you at least try? Me and my spooky, scary partner.
Bleh. Continue.
We are here today. We are gathered here today to listen to scary, frightening tales and anecdotal nuggets of shameful,
Spooky McNuggets.
terrifying fear.
Yes.
You feel it in the atmosphere,
In your bones.
in your bones, all of them.
All
Stories
7 of them.
Of creepy pastas and our own paranormal experiences
Ooh.
and other such horror. You take over. I'm tired.
So yeah, welcome to Bitter Chat. I'm tired.
I'm tired of the spooky, scary
I
festivities.
don't want to do it anymore.
I am a jack-o'-lantern and you
Every year I do the voice and go blah, nobody cares.
You are a candy corn.
Why am I a candy corn?
Because you're American. That's the American Halloween thing. It's candy corn.
Oh, fuck, do not associate that with us.
What? Why? You made it, didn't you?
I
We don't
hope
have
not.
it. We didn't make it.
I hope we didn't make it. I fucking hate candy corn.
Ooh, where did candy corn come from?
To
That is the
Google.
first question of today. Candy corn. It is a staple candy of the fall season and the Halloween holiday in North America.
But who invented
It was invented in the 1880s by Wondell Candy Company employee George Renninger.
Oh, we did make it.
I was really hoping that didn't say what I thought it said. So I was reading it out, because Renninger.
Yeah, it's a little close to something.
Treading the line there.
Very spooky.
Wondell Candy Company was the first to produce the candy in 1888. It doesn't say where this is. Oh,
I think
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Philly, Pennsylvania.
Well, at least it was Philly.
Okay, so you don't like it. I've never had it.
It's
Does
gross.
It taste like corn?
No, it just tastes. It's just a lump of gross sugar.
Oh.
But it's like not even. I don't know. It's not good.
Yo, they do Easter candy corn. Did you know this?
Why?
Anyway, this isn't Easter. This is Halloween.
Spooky candy is gross and scary.
So let's talk about some of our own scary things, because we've touched on this. We did an episode a while back about our biggest fears and such, and we don't really want to tread water with that, but I feel like there's got to be some like weird paranormal things that we ourselves have experienced, or some just scary shit, like situations where you've been like, oh, this is frightening.
Here's the thing, right?
You're going to say that you've never had one.
I've never had one.
What are you... Seriously?
No, seriously, never. And I
You've
kind
never
of
had,
wish...
like, any sort of, like, fringe treading of, like, paranoia? Not paranoia, paranormal?
No.
Being paranoid is quite scary, though.
Well, sure, but, like, no. I've never had anything even close to a paranormal experience, but I know so many people that say they have, and I just sit there and I'm like, nah, man, I'm not into it.
But you live in America, and in my mind, not only is there just a lot more surface area to experience for paranormal stuff,
A
but
lot more room for ghosts and ghouls.
right, yeah, it seems like the American culture really leans into this a lot more than British stuff. I mean, we do. Like, we definitely do. We have the dungeons.
Right, I mean, I was gonna say, if any land is more haunted, I feel like it's yours.
Well, that's only by virtue of us being around since, like, the dawn of time.
Sure, that's what I mean. Like, you guys have castles.
Your land has only been around for, like, 200 years?
Yeah, it'll be, it's been about 250.
Like 300? Yeah, so you've had less time, whereas we have buildings that are older than your country, so...
Right, like, you guys have castles, which is prime hunting ground. Haunting, not hunting.
Remember Hunting Ground?
Yeah.
A really good PS2 game.
I don't know about it, but I
mean, Haunting Ground.
Yes. Castles are like, peak location for hauntings. So,
well, I can always start because I've had a lot of experiences with not even just like paranormal stuff, just being scared of spooky things.
Like what? That's super scary.
I know. Ooh, gas.
Oh, it sounded like he was gonna vom all over his microphone.
That'd be frightening to listen to. Okay, so let's set the scene. The year is... I want to say it's 2005 or 2006. I'm in school. And this is like the... I don't know how to...
Cool.
Yeah? Yeah? You having fun there?
Yeah.
You'll know when I get to the spooky shit. I'm just trying to place it like in the timeline of my life.
Yes.
I would have been like 10, I guess.
Yeah.
It was a school trip. It was a school field trip to the city of York.
Ah.
The original York City. People say that it is the most haunted city in England.
Okay. Why?
That's the predicate for this.
Why do they say that?
Well, there's just a lot of ghosts and a lot of...
They just hang out in the street.
There's a lot of places where ghosts can exist and famous monuments and landmarks and all that stuff. So we were on a school field trip. We were there for about a week. And I want to say it was like the last night of the field trip. We went on a ghost tour.
Oh, God.
We went on a ghost walk, which is... I don't know, do you guys have that?
Describe it. Maybe
you
we
must
call it
do.
something else.
It's literally, you're either like, you're on a bus or you're like on a walking tour and you can just go around and you look at places where it's like, this is where the spooky things happened 1,000 years ago.
There are towns that do that, yeah.
Like, you must get it in like Salem or something, right?
Yeah, especially places like that.
Yeah, so we went on one of those and there were a load of different stories. Ones that stick out in my mind are, there's a famous cathedral there. Or like a church or some type of holy building where the story is that when it was being built, a dog got bricked up inside it.
Oh no.
And died.
That's
and
bad.
You can still hear the woofs and the barking when it's very quiet at night. That was like the first story they told. You're throwing us in the deep end with a dead dog, all right?
Yeah.
That's kind of not a good start. And
Tugging
then
at the sympathy strings there.
they move us into a street where you have I think it was called the Plague House, where I think it was like during the Black Death, where there was this girl in the house who died from the plague. And
Yeah.
you look in the upper window, you can see her looking at you sometimes.
Because she...
Because ghosts.
Yeah, but like, there's always... Isn't there usually a reason a ghost in the lore of ghosts? Isn't there a reason a ghost sticks around?
I think she was pissed about dying in the plague, maybe? I don't know. Like, I'd be pretty
Well,
miffed if I...
wouldn't there be like hundreds of thousands of ghosts in Europe if that was the case?
Well, yes, but you're also applying logic to ghosts, which is
That's,
your
I
first
think, my problem. Because
Yeah.
I've never had these experiences, I have no base to be like, okay, yeah, maybe that did happen. And instead, I just look at it as a logical sequence of events, and I'm like, no.
Well, I do partly as well, but then I have had... I wouldn't even consider them paranormal experiences. They're just things that have happened that I can't explain. But we'll get to those later.
Sure.
Because to finish off with the ghost story, it was like 5 different spots where they were just telling us all these stories. The last one was about a headless man.
Yes,
That
a
just
classic.
walks the spooky streets because he got his head chopped off or something. I don't know.
Just by a roaming dog. Just bit it off.
Yeah, the dog broke out of the brickwork. He had a scythe in his mouth and he cut his head off.
Yeah, the dog got bricked up in the cathedral, and then he broke out with a sword and became the Dark Souls boss, and then he cut the dude's head off with the sword.
You think bricking him up was an accident? No, it was to keep him there.
It was to contain him.
Yeah. But yeah, so we went on that, and bearing in mind this is obviously at night time, like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the evening, and so I was pretty fucking scared, honestly.
Right.
And that made it so that I couldn't sleep throughout the whole night. Because we were staying in this like weird youth hostel, and I was rooming with like 3 other dudes, and the bed that I was laying in, it was like right next to a window.
Mm.
And outside the window was just a lone street lamp with like the most orange glow you could ever see in a street lamp, right?
And it was decorated to
everything
look like
just
there was a
looked
man
red.
standing there.
Right, I was thinking of, am I going to see the dog? Am I going to see the man? Like, oh my god. And so that was, I think, my first ever instance of night terrors. So
Oh, fun. Trauma.
yeah, right? And I don't know, I'm pretty sure I must have been the only one to experience this because like I couldn't sleep and I was so terrified to move. Like I didn't want to go out into the hallway in case there was a little girl ghost just standing there blocking me from the toilet. Like, you know?
That's the scariest thing to imagine. I can't go
Well,
pee.
When you're 10 years old, right, and you don't have like a world knowledge and you're neurodivergent, it's not an easy thing to to make peace with. Is the idea that you're in the most haunted city in England? And,
Yeah, sure. Especially when you're a kid, I totally get that.
right. It was horrible, and ever since then, I've always thought, I don't like ghosts.
They're coarse and rough, and they get everywhere.
They do get everywhere. Like it's fascinating to me, like on a base level, but do I believe in them? No.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing in
I'm
ghosts.
a man of science and logic. Like,
Hmm.
I'm an atheist. So, it sort of comes with the turf of not believing in an afterlife. How can ghosts be real?
Right.
But, I like the lore. I like the culture. I like the spooky, scary stuff sometimes, you know? Because it's so goofy and silly a lot of the time. But the ones that get me are the ones where it's like, it could be real. Almost. You know?
Yeah. And you know, my partner is very into that kind of stuff. Very much believes in a lot of it, and she knows I don't. But she
Have you ever had a
has-
seance?
no. Not that they're not that hard.
Oh, right. So you would be able to get them a Ouija board for Christmas, and they wouldn't just curse you out of their house.
I think so, yeah.
Right.
But the main thing is, like, they all have stories, like, from when they lived in Mexico or whatever. Like, they all have
Yeah,
stories.
Mexico seems like it's a real big thing, because, death is just a big part of a culture, isn't it?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, so it's going to be hand in hand that there are ghosts in the water or something.
They have so many stories. Maybe sometime I can get her on and she can tell some, but, like...
Yes, paranormal stories. That'd be great.
it's an interesting
with someone who's actually experienced this shit.
This is the thing, man. Everyone I know has a story where it's like they think they experienced something, and I'm like, I don't know, man. It's never happened to
Okay,
me.
well let's rule out like the paranormal aspect. Has there anything ever happened to you where it's just like unexplained?
No. There's been times where, like, in the moment, I'm like, ooh, what was that? But then I get an explanation and I find out what happened.
Oh, you always get an explanation.
Yeah.
Wow. What's that like?
It just is the world, I guess.
I can think of one tale. I can think of one tale in my life where I've had, like, something happen to me, and I have no fucking clue how this could have happened.
Okay, let's hear it.
So, I was walking home from school. I was, like, 15 or 16, so I was conscious. Like, I was mentally cognizant at this point. I was walking home, and at that point, I was living in a place where, to get to my house, there was, like, this big, like a field, almost, like a miniature hill. The road went around it, and there was a motorway on the other side, with a little wooded area separating the motorway from the little hill bit. So it was like a more or less like a wide open space where if someone were to like stand in the middle and then they were gone, there would be no reasonable explanation as to why they were gone.
I see.
So I was walking home. There was a man. I don't even know if it was a man. It was a person wearing a like an anorak, like a really big raincoat with the hood up, walking a dog. So okay, normal dog walker, totally fine. I see them like off on the hill. I look to my left because I like to look around when I walk. I look to the left, look down another street, turn my head in the space of like 5 seconds, and they're gone. I'm like, huh?
And
What?
so there's no way they were at the top of this hill and maybe you just went down the other side?
No, they were like right in the middle of it. That's, yeah?
Sure. And like I said, I know so many people
How
that have
does that
stories
happen?
like this. And since I wasn't there, I have no explanation. And sure, it does sound like something, but
But what could it have been? That's the thing. Like, as a man of fact, how
yeah,
on
that's
earth
what
do you
I'm saying.
explain that?
Like, that one definitely is like, I wonder what it was.
Unless they literally like sprinted off like Mo Farah, like to the left behind a couple of houses. No, definitely not. It was definitely one of the weirder things. I was just so confused. I was stood there for like 5 minutes after the fact, just like, what? Am I in the Matrix? Is this real? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
It's,
Not
always
saying it was a
interesting.
ghost. It might have even been just a hallucination on my part. That's the thing. You never know with these things, because
Potentially.
I feel like a lot of ghost stories have unreliable narrators.
That's the other thing too, right? Like, you're getting something from the perspective of somebody, which means like there's always going to be a tinge of not quite exactly what actually happened.
They're not like the Watcher, you know,
Right.
where they are observing everything at every moment with pure fact, right?
Right. Like I know one of the stories that Yessie has. I might get a couple details wrong, but essentially, a family friend of theirs was working on it was some sort of labor job, and he turned around and there was this girl, and she was asking him something, and he was like, "Oh, okay, hold on, let me check." And he turned around, turned back, gone. She's just fucking gone, and he was fucking flush, like completely like, oh my god, I literally just saw a fucking ghost. Like, and how do you explain that shit? I don't know, but
You can't. That's the source of it is the unexplainable. It has to be explained somehow. So,
but
gotta be
the
a
other
ghost.
problem with it is that, like, again, that was not even a secondhand account. That was like a third-hand account. And now, for the audience listening to this episode, a fourth-hand account of what happened. So there are details missing, right? Like, there's always going to be details missing when you're not there seeing the thing. So maybe there was something that happened that we didn't see that does explain it, but I don't know.
The term I like to use in these situations is Occam's razor.
Sure.
We know what this is, right?
Right. It's basically, long story short, is it's whatever's the easy explanation is most often the correct one.
Yeah, that's it. You know, you're often posed with two scenarios. Conspiracy theories often lie in one half. Occam's razor is used to cut it in half, and then you get the tangible half. But there are certain things in this world that Occam's razor can't really apply to, because the situation itself is just so out there. It's crazy. I have a couple here.
Okay.
But, I've researched a little bit, and I feel like it could be worth talking about.
Yeah, give it a shot.
What fascinates me the most is Bigfoot.
That's an interesting one, yeah.
What are your thoughts on Bigfoot?
I mean, I'm of the belief that people are crooks, and a lot of that stuff is not what it seems. And given the fact that there is not a single clear picture of the fucking thing, it's probably a dude in a fucking monkey suit or something.
You really think so?
If there was a fucking creature like that was just walking around, don't you think we would have gotten a better picture of it by now?
So, I'm mainly referencing the Patterson Gimlin film, as it's been colloquially termed.
Yeah.
It's about a 50-second long clip of what appears to be Sasquatch, Bigfoot, just walking across the wooded area.
Yes.
And there are certain frames where you can look at it and it's kind of clear, but mostly it's kind of just shaky cam, hard to like figure out what it is. And this was filmed in 1967.
Right. Again, you don't think in the almost 60 years since then we would have gotten maybe some better footage of this thing?
Exactly.
So I have a hard time believing in Bigfoot.
There's a term on this that's wishful thinking. That's it. It's where it's like the formation of beliefs is based on what might be pleasing to imagine.
Man, it'd be so cool if there was a Sasquatch.
Wouldn't it though?
I guess it would be.
I mean, kind of yes, in the, oh my god, Bigfoot's real.
But I get, you know what?
There's so many different interpretations of Bigfoot.
There's something terrifying about that also, because if Bigfoot's real, what's to stop all the other cryptids from being real?
Cryptids, yes.
And some of them are fucking horrifying.
Like the Loveland frog.
I just go to Wendigo. What's the Loveland frog?
It's a giant frog.
Okay.
It's in Ohio folklore, the Loveland frog.
Of course it's Ohio.
Also known as the Loveland frogman or the Loveland lizard, is a legendary humanoid frog, described as standing roughly 4 feet tall, allegedly spotted in Loveland, Ohio, in 1972.
It's always that long ago.
It's always that long ago, because with the internet and world surveillance being what it is, it's impossible to make a genuine thing anymore, you know?
Elaborate on that a little bit.
So, Bigfoot, 60s. Loveland Frog, 70s. Loch Ness Monster, let me have a look at that.
Maybe even longer ago than that.
1933.
Yeah.
There's other ones. Mothman, 60s.
Mothman
there's
would be
just, it's
terrifying.
all far away back into the world where technology wasn't a thing really, so you couldn't capture these things reliably. Word of mouth has progressed so much over these years. Like, there's no real way that you could, like, fundamentally disprove these things. So there was a lot more room to breathe with a lot of these things.
That's the thing I was going to say. It's a little bit more cynical, but like you said, there's no way to capture these things reliably. But that also means that for the scammers out there, there's no way to... It's more believable that you can't capture it reliably, so no one's going to question it. So you have this shaky, unreliable footage of a guy walking around the woods, and people are like, oh my god, it's Bigfoot! And nobody, like, on the internet today is like, dude, what the fuck is this? This is bullshit.
Exactly.
There's no modern footage of fucking Mothman or the Loch Ness Monster, because people would debunk it.
There is a concept about cryptology and the paranormal which I find super interesting.
Yeah.
It's called the tulpa. Have you heard of this?
No, I have not.
It's a concept in, I think it's some form of religion, where a being or an object even is, like, thought about by so many different people as being real that it becomes real. So it manifests itself into being like a real thing. Closest phenomenon being the Slender Man.
Okay. I think I know where you're going with this.
So the Slender Man. Footnote. I discovered this through the Marble Hornets. What would you call it? Show? Not a show.
Yeah, like web series?
Web series, alternate reality game. You know what it is.
Right. I discovered it through the game Slender Man.
The game, yes. So, the Slender Man is obviously not real. The origins can be traced to the Something Awful internet forums as part of I think it was a photo contest where this guy made 2 separate photos of what appears to be the Slender Man. And
I just realized that is a name that we have become so used to that we don't question it, the Slender Man. But when you really break it down and look at what that name is, the Slender Man, it's a lot less scary. It's just a skinny dude.
The name Bigfoot.
Yes, that's another example.
If you remove it from what it is, it's a Bigfoot.
He's got a big feet.
Right. Slender Man.
He's a skinny dude.
Man. The difference with this thin man
Yeah.
is that he's got like tentacle appendages in some depictions, but the common themes are extremely tall, extremely thin, wearing a black suit, a white head with no face.
Yeah.
This has been probably the biggest cryptid to appear in modern day, and it's all through the internet.
And that's the thing, like, it's definitely a modern cryptid, but it's certainly, I mean, maybe I'm wrong here, but I don't think people genuinely believe it's real. Like, people are all kind of on the boat of, yeah, this is a fictional creature.
You clearly do not remember the 2014 Slender Man stabbings.
Well, I do remember you telling me about these.
The Wokacia, I think that's how you say it, the Wokacia stabbings. 2014, 2, I think they were either 12 or 13, like on the cusp of teenagers.
Yeah.
Little girls stabbed a fellow classmate like 20 times, and their motivation was that the Slender Man told them to do it.
Now, you're always going to get crazy people.
Yes. But this is what I mean. Like, this plays into the tulpa way of thinking, in that if enough people will, like, dedicatedly believe that it is real, to them, it is real. There's no dissuasion of it being false, despite the fact that there is no evidence of it being real, and not only that, there's evidence of it being entirely fictional.
Right.
So, these 2 mentally ill preteen girls commit near murder, all through the guise of what is basically an internet meme.
Now, you said near murder, that means the victim lived?
Oh yeah, they lived.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah. That's why it's called the stabbings and not the murder.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. One footnote is that one of the stabbers said that they also conversed with Lord Voldemort and one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
So yeah, these are just crazy people, really.
They were found incompetent to stand trial. You can wonder why. But that's what I mean, right? There's clearly fictional things that can be embellished into becoming real, but then there's just the real shit that's scary. And that's what we kind of touched on our worst fear episode.
Yeah. We're definitely 2 people that are more afraid of the reality, as opposed to things like Bigfoot and the Boogeyman.
Well, even then, like, Bigfoot isn't really scary, depending on the medium, because some view him as like a hero, like a folklore hero, like he's what's his name, Paul Bunyan? Like, they view him as being like a protector, a silent guardian of the forest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if you were to go in the woods and Slenderman was there, fucking Bigfoot would come out and just rugby tackle him.
Right, he's like...
You are safe, child. I am Bigfoot.
He's like the way Marvel Comics does Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing?
Yeah, in the comics, Marvel Comics, Swamp Thing is like a fucking big swamp monster that protects the nature of the swamp or whatever.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's there's creatures, there's beings, and then there's real people, which can often be scarier.
Yeah, for sure.
And the real people that come up with the scary things, you have to think, ooh, are they well adjusted? Or are they extremely creative? Like, it's crazy.
Well, sometimes you get the creators of scary things, and they are more pleasant and nice than people who make nice things. For example, Junji Ito.
Junji Ito.
He's a fucking teddy bear of a human being, and he makes the most horrifying shit imaginable.
Mm-hmm.
And then
The
there's
Enigma of the Amigara Fault is still in the back of my mind.
yeah,
Like, at all times.
there's a fucking I don't know. I'm not too familiar with all of his different stories, but I've seen some fucking images that he drew, and I'm just like, God damn it, I can't look at that again.
Mm-hmm. The one that gets me is the lady next door.
Yeah, that one sucks.
Yeah, that's fucking horrible.
Jeez.
You know they adapted that into an anime.
I did, but I heard it wasn't a great adaptation.
It wasn't good.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
For various reasons. Super Eye Patch Wolf did a video on this that I'm going to paraphrase, but basically is when you take a still image and you transfer that into a moving medium, it fundamentally is a failure. Because the fear lies in turning the page.
Oh,
which is
you're talking about
you yourself
horror
can
specifically.
do. Yeah. So
Okay.
when you turn the page and you see the scary thing, you're like,
I don't know. I feel like you can, if you have a clever enough director, there are ways you can do that and keep a pacing that is similar to turning a page and get the same.
Ooh, a perfect example is David Lynch.
Yeah, actually.
Remember that scene in Mulholland Drive?
Remind me which one you're talking about?
The creature behind the diner?
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. Oh my god. I got goosebumps.
Yeah. So,
For those who maybe don't know, it's Mulholland Drive is a trippy movie anyway, but there's one scene where it's two random guys. One of them is talking to the other one about a dream he had, where he's in the diner with this guy, and then he senses something watching him. So he goes out, and he sees a horrifying looking thing behind the diner. And so the guy is like, well, okay, you think it's real? Let's go do it. And the way it's filmed is that he basically ends up in the dream. Like, it just repeats itself as he's said. And it's so fucking horrifying because it just builds and builds and builds, and then bam, fucking thing slides out, and it looks fucking horrifying. And whoa.
I don't know why David Lynch hasn't just, I mean, it's a stupid thing to say because it's David Lynch and he doesn't want to do anything normally, but I don't know why he didn't just stick to horror. He's pretty good at it.
He's done one normal film.
What do you mean?
You ever heard of A Straight Story?
Wow, that is about the most on-the-nose name you could have for a quote-unquote normal David Lynch movie.
It's about a guy who travels across America on a lawnmower.
Yeah, okay.
It was released by Disney. Like, it's a full-on, like, family movie.
Wow, okay.
That's like the straight-up most normal thing he's ever done.
Sounds like it.
Everything else is just either horrifying or, like
Supernatural,
cosmological horror.
yeah.
It's...
Twin Peaks.
Mm-hmm.
Which there are scary elements in Twin Peaks, but I would far from describe it as a horror.
Oh, I would.
I mean, again, there are parts.
The entire concept of Killer Bob?
That's what I'm saying. Like, there are moments, but the whole thing is not, I wouldn't say.
Well, it has elements.
Yeah,
Definitely
has elements. Here's a spooky thought. Let's take an ad break and then come back and talk about different things.
Are you going to be you when we come back, or are you going to be someone else?
Who else would I be?
Let's find out.
Oh.
Sorry!
I'm Danny DeVito now.
No, okay, so this is a thing that I wanted to talk about, right? This is a...
No.
Nah. My favorite, like, urban legends or theories is that, like, someone will die and then they'll be replaced by an identical copy.
Oh, like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Not even, like, Paul McCartney and, like, Avril Lavigne and
Oh,
the
this
Warrior.
shit.
Yeah, like, there's the most famous one probably being Paul McCartney is called like Paul is Dead, where the idea is that he got in a car crash, he fucking got decapitated, and so the Beatles held a lookalike contest and they just replaced him with someone else.
And my favorite thing about things like this is they held a lookalike contest, and yet somehow nobody knows about it.
Nobody knows about it, but there's clues, because in the Abbey Road album cover, he's walking differently than the rest of the members. And in the Lonely Hearts Club, there's another clue. The walrus was Paul. Oh.
What does that mean?
The walrus. I am the walrus.
Right, but like, what does that mean?
It was Paul. Hi, I'm Paul.
Picture Paul. Now
Yeah.
picture a walrus.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right. It's obviously not real.
No, I don't believe any of this shit. But
it's happened like multiple times with different people, like Avril Lavigne.
yeah, was she the one where it was like, oh, if you look at her teeth, they're a little bit different after this day?
Yep.
It's like,
The outlying thing is that after the release of her first album, she died and was replaced by a body double, and you can like see subliminal messages in the albums, and there's a photo shoot where she has like the fake name written on her arm or something.
I'm willing to
Not as
hear...
if like people can physically change over a period of time. Like, no,
Right.
they've died and they've been
it has
replaced
to
by
mean they've
someone else.
just been murdered and replaced.
Right.
I am willing to hear any conspiracy theory, but I am all about motivation. Why would they do it that way, right? Why would this be
Who's
happening?
they?
Whoever's doing the supposed conspiracy theory, right? So, like...
The governing body of Avril Lavigne. Like, why did they replace her? What?
No, here's what I was going at with that one specifically. Why would whoever produces her albums, or her herself, leave subliminal messages to, like, leave a breadcrumb trail to...
Because
to
if you know, then you know, and if you don't know,
but
you don't know.
it's clearly something they would want to hide, so why would they want anyone to know and leave clues for it?
Because it's spooky scary.
Because it makes a good story.
Right. They've even
Like-
done this with Melania Trump, ain't they? That was a big thing, wasn't it?
What, that she died and was replaced?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
Either that she wasn't dead or that she just didn't want to be in public anymore and she was replaced by someone. But, yeah.
I mean, that one I can believe, motivation-wise. Why would you not want to be seen in public with that person? That makes sense.
But yeah, that one is more like, okay, sure. Why not?
Right.
I mean, we could do a whole episode about conspiracy theories. That's a whole other thing.
I think we should do that when we have our friend Keelan here.
Ooh, yes. Perfect.
But...
What are some of your favorite horror stories? They could be specific stories. They could be YouTube videos. They could be tropes in fiction.
See, I'm not usually big into horror.
I was expecting man door, hand hook, car door.
I mean, I love
Your
that
answer.
one, but for different reasons.
Which is, of course, a derivative of the hook man. Oh, his hook was on the car.
Yes. The fucking... Can we find that real quick? I want to read it for the people, for anyone that maybe hasn't heard it somehow.
Man door, hand hook, car door. Yeah.
Door, hand, hook,
So
card.
the original story is that there's this couple in a car and like they get like harassed by this creepy, grotesque man who has a hook hand, and then they think, oh, it wasn't real, but then they wake up and they see there's a hook on the car door.
Okay, I found it. So
Probably
this
doing
is...
that story like the horrible justice there, but
The-
that's the context you need. This is I don't even know where it came from.
It looks like 4chan based on the screenshot I found.
Yeah, it is 4chan, isn't it? Yeah.
So yes, this is just a retelling of that classic story, right? So here we go.
Let me get the music. Okay, let's go.
Man and girl go out to drive under moonlight.
No. What are you doing? It's a scary story.
Man and girl go out. What do you want?
I want you to like man and girl.
Okay,
go
fine. All
out
right.
to
All right.
drive.
All right. All right. Restart the music.
All right, okay.
Man and girl go out to drive under moonlight. They stop at a side of road. He turn to his girl and say, "Baby, I love you very much. What is it, honey? Our car is broken down. I think the engine is broken. I'll walk and get some more fuel. Okay. I'll stay here and look after our stereo. There have been news report of stereos being stolen. Good idea. Keep the doors locked, no matter what. I love you, sweaty. So the guy left to get full for the car. After 2 hours, the girls say, "Where is my baby? He was supposed to be back by now." Then the girl hear a scratching sound and voice say, "Let me in."
It was the fiend, Bray Wyatt.
The girl doesn't do it, and then after a while, she goes to sleep. The next morning, she wakes up and finds her boyfriend still not there. She gets out to check, and she gets out to check, and man door hand hook car door. The end.
Man door hand hook car door. That's my favorite, like, fucking dumb, spooky thing ever.
I remember the first time you read that, and it was the first time I'd ever heard it, and when you first said, "I love you, sweaty," I couldn't fucking contain myself. That is
I love you, sweaty.
So brilliant. I love it.
Exchange often between me and my partner is "I love you, sweaty." Comes from this.
Oh, gotta go get full for the car.
The stereos being stolen. Oh, it's good shit. Where did that even come from? Like the original, the archetype of the story of the hook on the car door.
Oh, it's gotta just be some like old classic campfire story that got passed around a lot.
The story is thought to date from at least the mid-1950s and gained significant attention when it was reprinted in the advice column Dear Abby in 1960.
Why was it in an
Why
advice
is it in
column?
an advice column?
That makes no sense. Right? Dear Abby, my marriage is failing. Yeah, what can I do? Well, I don't know, but here's a scary story
man door
for
hand hook car door.
Tell him I love you, sweaty.
Oh, this is on the Wikipedia for it. An attempted telling of a story by a 4chan user in broken English is itself a minor meme.
Yeah. Oh, minor?
This version has found its way into a reworking of the song Mr. Sandman by the Chordettes.
Oh, yeah.
What? The Wikipedia article has a YouTube link. What is this?
That's probably the version they're talking about.
Mr. Sandman, man me a sand. Make it the cutest man called or hookond.
It's fucking great.
Man card or hook hand.
Oh, God.
Give him 2 sands like Sanses and Hanses.
So
and that is sands and mans are Hanses.
it's a full-on stroke.
Sand so a man.
Alright, so we've talked a lot about like ghosts and scary campfire stories and cryptids. What about things like that aren't on Earth, right? Like aliens.
Well, we know space is just scary to me at a base level.
Right, yes. Like the pillars of creation.
But that's just real. Like, the real idea that space is real. I'm just like,
I don't like that it's out there.
I don't like that it's out there and that it's so, like, incomprehensibly massive.
But why does that... I got a question. Why does that bother you? Because it's not like you're ever going to go.
But just the idea that it's there and it's real and it's out there and there's documented scientific evidence that there is a thing that's completely fucking fuck-off massive that you could never understand the scale of it in your own mind. Like, whoa. It's like, why is Cthulhu scary to anybody? Like, why are the old gods? Why is Eldritch Abomination scary?
True.
Because you can't understand it. But
so
this is real.
Does the okay, first of all, let's address this. Do you believe in aliens?
No.
No?
Okay. There's no evidence.
Sure, yeah.
Give me evidence, and then I'll believe it.
I just think, like, mathematically...
It's the same belief of, like, religion in that. It's like, if there's no proof, like, there's no way you can, like, not believe it, but then you can just as easily believe it, because there's no counter-evidence.
Well, here's the thing I think there's a little bit of a difference between the topic of aliens versus religion, right? Because, like, aliens are more a matter of, does life exist? anywhere else in the...
Oh, does life exist? Probably. There's probably, like, amoebas and everything, but E.T. isn't fucking knocking around up in
Oh,
up in
sure,
space,
like
is he?
big-headed gray men with black eyes. No, maybe not.
No,
but...
I believe that, sure, there is a high probability that life, like, as bacteria or something, exists, but, like...
And I even believe there's a strong chance
sequelians.
that...
Like, there's no men out there.
I even believe in it. There's a chance, like a pretty good chance, with the scale of the universe and how big it is, there's gotta be some more advanced life than just bacteria somewhere.
But then you think about it in the way that we know more about space than we know about our own oceans. Like,
sure,
is Atlantis real?
We know what makes it function, but we haven't seen that much of it. We've seen
What if Atlantis is, like, down there?
Well, I was talking about space.
What if aliens are up there? Like, it's the same thought process.
Sure, but
what if Namor is real?
see, like, there's no scientific basis for underwater humans, right?
But we don't know.
Sure, but there's not a basis for that. Whereas a basis for life existing on another planet, if the conditions are right, is so easily there.
But why haven't we found it yet?
'Cause space fucking big.
Right. I'll believe it if I see it.
Well, that's the problem. I don't know if we're gonna see it, at least in our lifetimes.
Well, then I don't think about it. It's fine.
But
why am I worried about something I'll never see or experience? I'm more worried about Nibiru.
like, I don't think we're ever gonna get to the point where there's alien invaders, because that's such an advanced level that it's like...
If they were going to do that, they would have done it by now.
Well, that's not necessarily true. They could be in the process of getting that technology
remember
together.
The moon race, like the space race of like the 60s? That would have been the time to do it.
But what I'm saying is...
actively trying to find aliens, you know?
Oh, no, I'm talking about aliens coming here.
Yeah.
Like, there's not necessarily a timeline for when that's going to or should have happened.
But it was most likely to happen when we were, like, expecting it, no?
Why? What?
Because we're sending out, like, remember in the 60s when it was the whole rage of, like, just sending shit out into space?
I think we're talking about two different things. What does what we were doing have to do with the technological capabilities of somewhere on a different planet?
Say there's a guy upstairs, right?
Uh-huh.
Say he's, like, quiet throughout most of the day. You're not going to pay him any mind. But then, if he starts just jumping up and down on his floor, making a noise on your ceiling, you're going to think, what is that? I'll go and investigate. You know?
But it's not like
the aliens are the man upstairs. And we are the ones... No. The aliens... the aliens are the one on the ground floor.
We're the aliens.
We're the
and
ones
aliens
jumping
are the
up
ones
and down upstairs.
knocking on us, which is us.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but I don't think I don't think there's actually a correlation to what you think is a correlation. Like, I think because there's no guarantee of, if there is life out there that is capable of making technology, there's no guarantee that they're at the point where they're making that technology. So there's no way.
But what if they already made it? What if it was already a thing? Like,
sure, but then that's a bunch of what ifs. I'm just saying, like, there's no...
Well, this is all an entirely what if thing, anyway.
Right, but I'm saying there's a higher chance that life exists on some sort of intelligent level than just it exists.
I don't know about the intelligent level, because if it was intelligent, it would have come to us by now.
But that's what I'm saying. There's no oh, it would have happened by now, because there's no timeline for that. Where we're at with our technology is not necessarily where any other life would hypothetically be with their technology. Like, they could still be using rocks, but they're intelligent.
Do you know the one about the babysitter and the man upstairs?
Yeah.
So, like, teenage girl is, like, babysitting kids, and then they receive, like, a phone call being like, check the children. That's a fun one.
But then who was phone?
Who was phone? That's a thing. Who was phone?
I don't know.
Let me Google who was phone.
Hey, Google, who was phone?
Hey Google, who was phone?
I don't see any Chromecasts or cast-enabled TVs linked to your account.
What?
You can add devices in the Google Home app.
Is that what I asked?
If anyone had trouble hearing that, his whatever Google's equivalent of a Alexa dot is just said it couldn't find any Chromecast TVs available.
Was that the phone? Was it a TV?
The phone was the TV all along.
Whoa. What are your favorite creepypastas?
As far as like genuine ones or goofy ones?
Let's go with genuine. We've been a bit goofy lately. Let's see if we can find a
Did you ever hear about
scary one.
Did you ever hear about the ones with the staircases in the forest?
No.
I'm not going to get all the details right because it's been forever since I've heard it, but essentially there was like it came from someone who I believe was a park ranger, and they told stories about how like they'd be going out scouting, and there was just an area that no one went to, and when they go there, there's just this like isolated black staircase in the middle of the forest. Ooh. And nobody wants to go anywhere near it because it's like, what the fuck is that? Nothing was ever built here. There was never a house here. Like, why is there a staircase?
It's like a monolith from 2001.
Yeah, essentially.
Right.
But it's a staircase.
That's kind of cool, though. I like that.
Yeah, it was interesting. And the story goes on.
What would you do?
I don't remember.
What would you do in that scenario?
I would walk up it.
You would?
The fuck's it gonna do? It's stairs.
Yeah, but where does it go? Could take you into the Black Lodge.
Cool.
You don't fuck with that.
No, it's not cool. Did you watch Twin Peaks?
Bad. Very, very bad. A different you will come out and come down the stairs.
And start hitting its head on the mirror. I mean, like,
That's not what he said. You know what he said. Would have been a way worse cliffhanger if he was just like... Yeah. No one would have picked that up 25 years later. But
no.
Okay. No, I like that. That's a good story.
I don't know many creepypastas, to be honest. It's not a realm I really dive into.
Well, there's different ones where there's creatures, there's like real life quote unquote events, there's video games.
I know a couple of the video game ones, like the Lavender Town one.
That's no, I don't like that one at all.
Did you know the one about the Majora's Mask?
Ben drowned, yeah, of course.
Yes, yeah, that one's creepy.
Squidward's suicide.
Yeah,
which was actually referenced in SpongeBob.
What?
Yeah, in like one of the newer episodes, there's a bit where they reference it.
What? How do they reference it?
Oh, let me find it.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Squidward's suicide.
Oh, in a previous episode, we briefly mentioned Candle Cove. That's a famous one.
Yeah, we don't like that. We don't like the Skin Taker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's an old episode of SpongeBob where it's called Squidward's Suicide. Like that's the name of the episode. It was made by an intern who basically just made an episode where Squidward looks very horrific and he hangs himself.
Now,
so there's the famous shot of Squidward, like as a desaturated photo. He's got really cursed eyes and he's bleeding from the eyes and he's looking sad.
Which for some reason that's a famous creepypasta thing to do.
Yeah, and it was referenced in an actual SpongeBob's episode.
That's wild.
Yeah.
What did they do?
I'll link you to the article.
Yeah.
Well, there was a scene where they're like in a world where it's like a load of doors, and they open up one of the doors, and it's just Squidward's face looking like the Squidward suicide face.
What?
Yeah, it's real.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, here it is.
Like I know there's one that's like it's got more. Oh wow, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. Why would they do that?
I don't know. The meme. You know the meme.
But for, like, children watching that might not be aware of the meme.
It's like opening a door and showing, like, Epstein didn't kill himself. Like, why are you putting that in a cartoon?
Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like looking at that, actually.
No, yeah, that's kind of a point. Oh, yeah, the scary images. Jeff the Killer. Russia Smile Dog.
Other
such horrific ones.
The fuck is Smile Dog?
Google Smile Dog.
I don't think I want to.
No, do it. It's not that bad.
I'm gonna regret this. All right.
Maybe.
Smile, dog. Nope, not Sog. Dog. Images. Yeah.
Yeah, it's unsettling, isn't it? You don't like that.
No. I don't like
No.
anything like that. Ugh,
Nah.
It's got chills. Yeah, it sucks.
These are basically just modern day, like, campfire stories, aren't they?
Yeah, like here's one real quick I've never heard of before. Let's read it live, shall we? Have you heard of the Wyoming incident?
Yes, I think so.
So here's what it says on Wikipedia for the Wyoming incident. The Wyoming incident is the case of a alleged video that interrupted the transmission of a KTWO TV in Niobrara County, Wyoming in 2006. The video showed human heads without bodies doing various gestures, poses, and emotions, and even the camera position moved occasionally, usually 5 to 10 seconds. All the people who saw the video suffered since hallucinations, headaches, or vomiting. While some believed that it was something paranormal, this is believed to have been caused by the strident noise that sounded during the video. All attempts to capture the hacker who caused this were in vain. As a tribute to the creepypasta video game developer... Wait, what? I misread that. As a tribute to the creepypasta, a video game developed using the Raycasting GameMaker program was released in 2010. The game used images from the Wyoming incident for the walls, enemies, and more. Oh, God.
See, this is based on like a real thing, which is the Max Headroom incident, and that legit fucking terrifies me.
I don't think I know about that one.
Oh, you know the character of Max Headroom, right?
Max Headroom.
Maybe you don't. It was a British television show where it was this character who was like a weird computerized guy. It was parodied in the Rap God video, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like that. Okay, this is a fun looking fellow.
Yeah, so the Max Headroom incident was an incident in the 70s. Like I think it was in America where it was an episode of Doctor Who that was being rerun at like late night sort of time, and then there was a broadcast intrusion done by like pirates who still to this day remain unknown. We don't know who they were. They interrupted the signal and they had on like a Max Headroom like plastic mask, and they were just like kind of like gesturing and like kind of dancing weirdly at the camera, and it's like, I can't watch it. It's just too fucking weird and scary.
That sounds not so bad when you just describe it like that.
But then when you look at it, it's like really not okay at all.
Let me see if I can find a video of this. Max Headroom incident.
Be careful.
Okay, he looks a little odd.
It was the night of November 22nd, 1987 in Chicago, Illinois.
Okay, I mean, it's definitely weird. And it sounds weird as fuck. Like the audio's all distorted.
I can't look at it or watch it.
I don't think that's so bad necessarily. Okay, he's getting a little bit closer to the camera there. That's a little... Alright, I can sort of see where it gets creepy. There's one that's like... I don't even know if
Imagine
it counts...
watching like Doctor Who at like late night and then this fucking happens and you just like, oh.
True, especially because that goes on for like a couple minutes.
Yeah.
That would be a little bit more like as
it was at 11:30 at night.
Especially like as it goes on, I think I would have been sitting there like, what the fuck is happening?
Uh-huh.
But I don't know if it ever would have gotten to a point where it scared me. Maybe, I don't know. If
craziest thing is that the culprits are still unknown.
Right, like I guess in context, because out of context, just looking at the video, it doesn't seem that bad. But I guess when you think about it in context, like you're used to seeing this character of Max Headroom doing certain things in a specific way, and then you're just watching a show, and then randomly for like 2 minutes, this is happening, and it's very different, and it's like this is clearly not normal. Like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that just terrifies me at a base level.
Yeah,
because it's real. Like most of my horrors are in like real stuff.
What did you ever think? This is barely... I don't even know if this counts as a creepypasta because I think it's like 100% real. But what do you ever think about like the bloody Gurr thing in Invader Zim?
Oh, I hate Invader Zim.
Wait, what?
I hate it. I really do. I really don't like it at all.
Why do you hate it?
Because, like, I don't know. Like, I'm sure the show itself at a base level is fine. It's just I've only known it in the context of it being like LOL random humor from like the internet, from like the scene emo kids, and it's just so cringy.
Oh,
And the fact that it's coming back on TikTok, every clip of it that I've ever seen on TikTok, I just find it unfunny.
well, sure.
Like
'Cause-
it just, it reminds me of Chris Chan, like his random access humor, you know?
I suppose.
What did you see? I saw a squirrel. You doing this? Like, oh, why is that funny? It's not funny. It's random.
There's
Random
better
does not
jokes.
equal funny.
There's better jokes.
Oh yeah, Bloody Gurr is like, what was it? It was a still image of Gurr covered in blood that they like overlaid into real episodes, right?
Yeah, there's I think like 6 spots where you can like actually see it in the episodes.
Yeah. Okay.
It was
Why,
just like
though?
a like that was when I discovered that was like real. I was like, why?
Yeah. Why? What's the deal?
Like I know the
Then
creator.
again, I've done that with things. Like there was a random super episode where I randomly like put Killer Bob into like a couple of split seconds just for fun.
Right, and it's probably just that. Like especially with the way that creator is, like I wouldn't be surprised. It's just to fuck with people. And then I wouldn't be surprised if Nickelodeon was like, "Hey, bud, fucking why? Don't do that. Fuck you."
Yeah. This is children.
This is children, says the people who are going to
We're
put
already
in,
fucking up their sense of humor for generations to come.
says the people who are going to put the fucking Squidward suicide in an episode
Yeah.
right there in front of people.
It has to be obvious.
Yeah, like that's insane that they did that.
Hmm.
What
But
piece of fiction has scared you the most?
I'm
Like
not
admit
a
it,
big
like
fan of horror movies anyway.
like completely
so-
knowing it was fiction, like no subtext that it was even remotely real. Like if it was a movie, a game, whatever.
Well, Resident Evil 4 scared me for a while because
Mm.
of the opening level.
Okay.
Still gives me the chills if you're like doing a new game and it's like, oh. If you don't know, then it's really fucking weird. But, good question.
Because for me, I think, and this is gonna, if you don't know this game, it's gonna sound weird when I say it, but trust me, it sucks. I think Doki Doki Literature Club has affected me the most when I first went through that.
Yeah. That affected me on a real level though, because
That's what, yeah.
mental health issues and having friends that remind me of the characters in the game, and then seeing all of this happen.
Right, and then, you know, my thing with imagery, like, the imagery in that game starts getting so fucked up, and I was like, wow, I hate this!
Like, the first time you see that picture of Sayori, like...
That was, like, a heart drop moment.
Ugh, I hate it. I hate it
And
so
then everything
much.
that goes on with Yuri and her branch of it, I'm just like, oh god, kill me now.
It's so bad. Gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, it
Ugh.
sucks.
Oh, Beavis and Butthead.
Beavis and Butthead?
They scared me when I was a kid.
Just
Still
in
do,
general?
kind of. So the animation style, the voices, like, I couldn't really look at it because it was just scary to me.
Oh, they never scared me, but I get it.
Yeah.
You know, that one episode of
Huh? You're alright. You okay?
Yeah, a lot of things just happened in my chest. That one episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog that everybody's afraid of with the King Ramses.
Which one? There's so many.
The one with King Ramses and Return the Slab.
What, Jirov? Yeah, sure, I guess.
Wait, which
I feel
one?
like a lot of that is rooted in the time that it was aired.
Yes.
Like, in the 90s, where, like, things that look like that weren't really commonplace.
Right, because it was the one CG animated thing in the entire episode, and it just looked so, like, disjointed from the rest of it.
I mean, the girl with the violin who turns around and screams, that fucks me up still.
I don't think I know that one.
Don't look it up.
It sounds awful.
Don't. Yeah, just save yourself time and don't do it, because it's like, Courage is in, like, this weird house, and he opens a door, and there's this girl in it, like, sitting with her back to the doorframe, like, playing a violin. And then she turns around and she has, like, a really horrible, fucked up face, and she just screams, and then Courage runs away.
That sounds awful.
Yeah. And then there's obviously, like, You're Not Perfect,
Oh, yeah.
and the entire character of, like, the barber guy.
Yes.
What was his name?
sucked.
Fred? Something like that?
I think it was Fred.
Yes.
And there's one
can't
villain
do
in
it.
the series that's just like a floating head.
Yes, I remember that. How the fuck did they, like, how did that even happen?
Well,
Courage
you
the
know,
Cowardly
there were multiple series for kids that were meant to be horror, like, you know, Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark, whatever.
Ah, Goosebumps. I remember the one with Ryan Gosling in it more than I do any
I
other
never watched
episode.
Goosebumps.
It was the episode, it was called Say Cheese, where it was like, it had a camera, like a spooky, scary camera, and then it took pictures, and then what happened in the pictures happened in real life, so Ryan Gosling got really fat, and the girl in the episode got really skinny, and the teacher had his hair fall out. It's not a good one.
No.
It's just one that I remember.
Yeah. No,
I couldn't. Yeah, I would never watch Goosebumps when I was a kid because, you know, it's scary. I don't want to be scared. I want to play Pokemon.
Yeah. I never got big into horror. There's a few movies I've seen. Like I saw It Chapter 1, which was good, but some imagery in that movie fucked me up.
I guess.
It was, you know, the scene with the painting?
Oh, yeah, no, that one, yeah, I can understand that.
That one got me the worst.
Yeah.
The rest of the movie, like, there wasn't really much that affected me.
It's fine, you just have to bully him and then he'll die.
That
That was the ending of that movie. Is they bullied him and he died.
Yes. I also liked Crimson Peak.
Oh, is that the one with Tom Hiddleston?
It is.
I still haven't seen it.
It's really good.
Ellie really likes it.
It's another movie that I like it because it's not relying on jump scares.
Yeah.
It's more of a psychological thriller than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like jump scare movies. Like, I'll never watch the fucking Purge. You couldn't pay me to watch the Purge.
That's not even a horror movie.
That's what I'm saying. It's just a fucking jump scare fest.
It's an action movie more than it is anything else.
Right. I remember you telling me a story about one of the Purge movies you went to see, and it was just like, they just turned everything into a fucking jump scare with a big fucking sound effect.
Yeah.
And I was like,
And
yeah.
the people next to me who were like screaming at the scares scared me more than the actual scares.
I think I've told on this podcast the story of when that happened to me watching one of the Harry Potter movies.
Half-Blood Prince?
Yes, when
Yeah.
Gandalf,
They're in the cave.
I almost called him Gandalf, when Dumbledore's drinking the spooky juice and he's like, I don't want to anymore, and Harry's like, but you gotta, and then he drinks it, and then he looks in the water and there's a zombie that pops out of the water for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't paying that much attention to the movie when I saw it. And then
No, you got it. That was the scene.
And so, like, there's a jump scare when the zombie pops out of the water, and, like, that made me jump a little bit. But then I was sitting right next to this girl who fucking screamed her head off, and that scared me way more.
Yeah. Jumping at loud noises is just human nature anyway.
Right, it's a fucking survival instinct.
Yeah. Makes me want to fucking punch the screen.
Did you ever go to, like, a theme park or amusement park when they were doing, like, a Halloween theme event?
No, I don't, and now I do not trust myself to go to one of those because I will end up going to jail for assault.
You punch them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. They're just doing a job. They're having fun. I don't want to fucking just attack them.
Well, you've gone to haunted house type things like the London Dungeon.
Well, yes, but they're like the one guy who was like trying to attack us was in a cage.
That's true.
Like, you know,
Well, that's
that
not
was
true.
fun,
They had
though.
us in that one room, didn't they? It was like what was it? It was like a room full of barber chairs, and they would sneak up behind people.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if they got you, but I think they came up to me.
No.
Uh,
The dungeons were fun.
that was fun. If you're ever in London, anybody listening,
There's
you
also
wanna-
one in Edinburgh that I went to as well. That was also good.
There you go. If you're ever in London or Edinburgh and want to do a cool haunted house type thing, the dungeons are really fun.
The character actors are really cool.
They're good at it.
And they don't touch you.
No. Although, do you know the funniest thing when we were there? There's a little story about when me, Brooks, and Ellie went to the London Dungeon. He alluded to it already, but there's one room where they have a guy in a cage who, like, tries to reach out of the cage and get you. When that happened, the guy in the cage reached out directly towards us, the three of us, and Ellie, excited as could be, reached back out to touch him. and you see they have like strobe lighting in the room when it's happening. And I could see in the strobe lighting, Ellie actually did get him a little bit, and he recoiled back so hard. It was so funny. He's supposed to be like this killer character, and then he ends up like, oh no, I can't actually touch him.
An old girl.
No, don't.
Yeah, that was a fucking good time.
I love it because they're so excited by scary things.
Yeah.
And then you had the
yeah,
two of
they
us.
love horror and everything, so...
You had the two of us being like, ah!
I'm very used to their passion for the spooky, scary, and the horror with the movies and all that stuff.
Yeah, I remember when
So-
we went into the room that had fucking Meat Pie Lady. They were so excited.
Meat
Like,
Pie Lady.
I forgot her name.
Helena Bonham Carter?
Yeah, but the character.
Oh, Mrs. Lovett.
Love it, yes.
Yeah.
But I don't know if both the dungeons are like this.
I love your pies.
I don't know if both the dungeons are like this, but this one's based off Sweeney Todd.
Oh, Edinburgh Dungeon is based off of just Scottish history.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we
Well,
were...
this was Sweeney Todd, it was Jack the Ripper, there was a lot of different things. There was a plague, like,
True.
there's different themes.
Yeah.
It's basically scary history,
Yeah. There was Jack the Ripper too. I forgot about that.
and you're in it.
Yes. But anyway, that was a lot of fun. So if you enjoy stuff like that and you're in the area, go check it out.
Should
I
we
haven't
cap
done a
off
lot
with
of.
with a spooky, scary tale.
Oh, do you want me to tell one?
Do you have one?
There once was a man named Paskinti. He wanted to sing, but he's stinky. Then he fell down. Now he's a clown, and his father's name was Bobinky.
That's really good.
No, it wasn't.
It's really scary.
Yeah, it was real spooky how he turned into a clown.
Yeah. Clowns are scary.
To some people. Are you
I
afraid of
don't
clowns?
like them. I'm not like if I see one, I'm not gonna scream. I'm just gonna like try and get away. I don't want to be around them.
Okay, fair enough.
It's nothing personal. It's
Alright.
just I don't like them.
I don't have any issues with clowns, really. Although,
Same
that's
reason I don't
saying
like
that,
Juggalos.
there was a painting in my house that actually my parents still have it.
Of a clown.
Well, yeah, a little. It was a painting that my mom's grandmother painted of like this Harlequin kind of character. And it's like all blue, pale face. It's just sitting there, really. There's nothing innately scary about it. But when I was a kid and that painting was on the wall and the lights were off at night and I was looking at it, it was just so unsettling. It was like the one clown thing that like creeped me out. And to this day, when I look at that painting they still have in the house, I'm just like, why do you have that thing? But yeah, in general, clowns don't really scare me.
I mean, John Wayne Gacy was pretty scary.
Sure, but that was a serial killer.
Who was a clown.
True.
Which then American Horror Story turned into a thing.
I've never watched that show.
Yeah, Twisty the Clown.
That's just funny to me because I'm familiar with this like chain of ice cream shops. It's called Twisty Treat.
This isn't a treat.
It's a clown that kills you.
It is a clown that murders people.
Fair enough.
And that's the character.
Did you have a spooky story to end on?
The last man on earth is alone in a room. There is a knock on the door.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's one of those super short stories.
Mm-hmm.
But I get it.
I
So,
was putting my child to bed, and they say, there is a monster underneath my bed. I look under the bed. I see my child, and they say, there's a monster in my bed. And I look at the bed.
and it's a
I see
monster.
my child.
The bed is now
They
my
say-
child.
They say I am Paskinti.
I am sandwiched between two Paskinti monsters.
I fell over.
Now I'm a clown
Became a
bed.
clown.
Can't
Can't sleep. Clown will eat me.
So this has been our Halloween special. If you want to share
Spooky, scary Halloween.
If you want to share your spooky experiences with us, you can send us a spooky email at bitterchatterpodcast@gmail.com. We also have spooky, scary socials you can follow at bitterchatpod on Twitter and Instagram. We also have a Discord server, and it's Bitter Chatters Chatter. Very spooky stuff happens there. We also have scary merch, which is really just our merch. And it's at redbubble.com/people/bitterchatpod. And then we have individual socials that are spooky, maybe sometimes. I don't know. Brooks, what are yours?
Mine are Strayborn. You can find me on Twitter and on TikTok. Latest tweet reading. I wonder how the dog from Weezer's Ratatouille album cover is doing.
Sounds spooky. Maybe he got bricked up in a cathedral.
Yeah.
And then my
What a
social,
horrible end.
yeah, my socials are at thatguy_Carmine on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Follow for stuff, maybe. I don't know. I tweeted boo.
You did. That got me.
So I hope that didn't scare you too bad. And now we will go into the afterlife until the next episode.
What?
We're going up into the
What?
afterlife.
No, we're not.
Yes.
No, we're not.
Here we
Doing?
go.
No, don't
It's
take me with
scary.
you. I don't want to go. I have unfinished business.
We'll see you next week.
No,
Ah.
I'm a ghost.
I'm a squirrel.
It sound right, boy.